Not only that,
Dollar General. It couldn't even be Dollar Tree. That would be the Dollar General. I swear I'm the only comedian that starts a set laughing at other people's shit. I mean, I'm still recovering from the line from that one song, Sniffing Panties. I'm like, did she just say what I think she said? Oh my God. So a week ago, I was at the airport in Raleigh, and I survived. And I get there at like 3 o'clock in the morning because I want to get there and make sure I do everything correct for my 5:20 flight. And well, I realized at the airport at that time of day, I am the minority, and I am completely okay with that. It's really hard to hold conversation because I only speak English and bad English, and most of the people around me didn't speak English, including the workers. I swear the guy that was doing the bag check was from Jamaica. Nicest guy ever. TSA, though, loved my Golden Girls shirt, and so did a woman and her 10-year-old daughter. And I like said, I'm like, all right, cool, maybe I'm gonna find the gun I packed. No, I'm like, no, it was really 2 bricks of cocaine. But my first flight, though, was from Raleigh to DC, and I'm just, when you're paranoid about doing something, all the shit that goes through your brain, and every George Carlin plane joke, like, you know, when the mask falls out, roof flies off, no. But I am nervous as all hell, and we're going to DC to catch the next plane and go out to Seattle. And we're landing in Dulles, where Die Hard 2 took place. I'm like, son of a bitch! I'm like, I'm gonna be in my own Die Hard movie. But the plane takes off, and the young lady that's sitting next to me is watching her iPad or something, and the plane just starts shaking as it's taking off. And I have this maneuver where I bow my head, I pray to the gods, and I grab the seat in front of me. She stops what she's doing. She goes, it's okay. And I'm like, huh? And she's like, this is normal. I'm like, yeah. And she goes, you don't like flying. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm like, you fly a lot? She goes, yeah. So, here's what happens for 39 minutes. A lovely young lady talks to me the whole ride. She is 25 years old, a geologist, headed to Hawaii for work, and she loves horror movies. So the whole, that flight went like that. Second flight, wasn't as lucky. Neither person talked to me. It was horrible. The one flight attendant, while we're getting ready to take off, one flight attendant walks by, and I look at him and I'm like, that dude looks like Gandhi if Gandhi was buff. Like, he had the circle glasses, bald head, mustache, and he just, And I already told him this, but the second flight, my rock to keep me sane every time the plane went a little like that was Maverick's book. And reading some of his beautiful poetry. I did ask him if he's okay, because some of it's kind of sad. But true romantic man. But also, it is really hard to read something during turbulence and your hands are shaking. And you're like, because I tried to do it the first flight. We take off, all of a sudden all the lights go off. I'm like, great, it's got dark now. Now I'm gonna die in the dark. Great. But it got me through it. One thing about all the flights and this whole trip was the number 13. It was always gate 13. Now some people, that would freak them out. 13 is my lucky number, so I'm not worried about that. So I left. Oh man. I left here a single person, and I came back with being in an amazing relationship now, something I'm not really used to. But I'm going to have to get used to flying now because I have a girlfriend who lives in the UK. So, what am I going to do? Coming home though, I'm going to check my bag, and it's like everything's like self-checkout. So I'm pressing all the buttons, and it says, "What flight are you on?" And I'm like, not one of them is my flight. So I wave down a flag attendant. I wave down an attendant. She comes over. The woman wearing a mask. And she goes, "What?" I'm like, "Well," she goes, "Is your flight on there?" She goes, "No." She goes, "Well, then hit next." And I'm like, "Oh." And she's like, "Hello." I'm like, "Thank you." just make the whole thing more nervous for me, and make me feel like a goddamn idiot. They announce birthdays on planes now. My first flight home, going to Denver, They say this guy's name. I can't remember the guy's name, but I'm already nervous, and when I'm nervous, I start laughing. If something makes me laugh, I laugh really hard. I was laughing so hard, the guy next to me took his headphones off and goes, "Is it your birthday?" And I'm like, "No, I just think that's really funny." The plane takes off, the plane lands. He looks at me because at one point the plane shook, and I kicked the gate in front of me because I have these nervous twitches the second the plane shakes. I think I'm gonna die. And we go to get off, and the guy looks at me and goes, "Is this your first flight?" And I'm like, No, this is my 7th actually. He goes, "Oh, well, flying isn't for everyone." I'm like, "I'm gonna have to get used to it since I'm dating a woman that lives in the UK. He goes, "Oh, so this is just practice." I'm like, "Shut up." But the first flight takes off, and I hear this rattle. But it's a rattle. It's not like the engines. Like, it sounds like something's just like... I'm just like, "Oh, God, this is it. I'm going to die." And then I started regretting everyone that said, "You're going to meet the one." And I say, "This is what's going to happen the day after I meet the one. I'm going to die." And I told her this while I was out there. She goes, "You've been with me for 5 days. You're still alive." I'm like, "Yes! It's not going to happen now." But that rattling started. I'm like, "Oh, Christ. Oh, Christ." But I realized it's kind of sad, looking the way I look and how nervous I get on a plane, and I'm panicking, I'm holding on to the seat in front of me for dear life, sweaty palms the whole time. Like, a flight for me is for like your average guy in his first date when he's out on the date with a woman of his dreams. And I realize, I look at when the anxiety, I'm freaking out, and I'm looking around the cabin, and I realize this must be normal. Everyone is calm, and it's just me. Yeah, you look at yourself different. Uh-oh, something broke. When I was in the airport at Denver, though, some kid comes up to me who looks like a white rapper or a basketball player. I can't tell. He was tall, skinny, color coordinated. And he goes, "Man, your style is good, man. I love it, down to the accessories, man." And first I'm thinking, is this guy messing with me? He goes, "No, man, like even down to the accessories, like all the black and all the colors and everything that you have mixed in." And I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "I aspire to be you." And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, I like your style." I look at him like, "Dude, you got a pretty good style." He goes, "Oh, no, man, this is just color coordination." I look at him like, "That's where it starts." That's how I started. Color coordination, this is how I started in high school. Black on black. You can't go wrong. And if you want to throw white, green in there, everything goes with black. So that's how it worked. Now the last flight we're getting on, I see a woman putting tennis rackets in the overhead. And I realized there's already a skateboard in there. And then a quick 9/11 thought. If you're allowed to take a tennis racket on an airplane, don't you think you can overpower a guy with a box cutter? I guess I had never mind. I'm not going to tell any 9/11 jokes because that's just not funny. I'm going to yell at my friend Alex who's telling me 9/11 jokes. But unfortunately, I did come home to some sad news. Anyone who follows me on Facebook, my poor mom had to put her cat down yesterday. She wasn't feeling good for a couple days. They took her to the veterinarian. And they're like, "We don't know how she's still alive. She had a tumor in her stomach and she was so bad, anemic." And I saw my mom did a post, and I had a lot of pictures of her cat with my cat, so I cropped one. And I gotta tell you, it's really hard to write a positive post about an animal that absolutely hates you. My cat only loved my mother and my father. Every time I walked in the room, it's like... And my mom's like, "Cause she smells Victor on me." And Victor tormented this poor cat. And then after Victor would come home with me, my mom's cat would start acting like Victor. And she goes, "She's opening the cabinets now. She's sitting in my sink." I'm like, "You're welcome."
You dropped it.
Right. Random thoughts. Adults
17.
get spanked more than kids these days. Wow. Did you say spicy? Oh, I wrote a whole bunch of fart jokes just for Jim tonight. And it's really weird when you're laying in bed next to your girlfriend and you think to write a joke like this, because there was nothing inspiring this joke. It just popped in my head. It's like, stop laughing. Wait for the joke. The louder the fart means the tighter the butthole. I'll let you all figure that one out. She wrote this one, though. When a girl sits on your face and you have a beard and she farts, it's called a blowing go. Sorry, the smirk on your face, Mark, just threw me off. I'm just looking out like, oh no. Oh wait, it gets worse. There's one more. And then this is more of like philosophy than just a joke. Because I heard this on one of those reels I watch on YouTube. It's like, if you don't think farts are funny, the guy called people, he said you're a loser. I'm not going to say anyone's a loser, but I'm going to agree with this part of it. If you don't find farts funny, then you are living your life and cutting out a whole realm of joy. You're just lessening joy in your life. Because I don't care, till I'll be 96, sitting in my own feces in a wheelchair at the old folks' homes. Like, I hope my last act on this planet is farting. Probably will, knowing me. And if I die in a plane, I'll also shit my pants. When you were young, remember this. When you got sick, the doctor's advice literally was, take drugs and don't go to school. Think about that. I didn't get to run my notes today because I slept all day. So I literally wrote all of these an hour before I came here. But ladies, remember, if he doesn't wear a condom and forgets to pull out, there's always a plan B. And since I am of the Norse faith, and someone told me a great joke years ago, because there was a belief that the gods from Asgard would come down and mingle with humans. And one day Thor was feeling frisky. He was, I'm Thor, I'm the god of thunder. I want to have sex. So he comes down, he meets this mortal woman, and has amazing sex with her. Then goes back to Asgard. And he's sitting there, he's like, you know something, I feel bad. I really feel like I should tell her who I am. So he comes back down to Earth, looks all over and finds her, and he's just like, I'm really sorry, I want to tell you something. I'm Thor. And she looks at him and goes, you think you're Thor? Thank you and good night.
My name's Andrew and I'm Horror Show Jack.